Yeah, because the reason for that is
All right. So, morning, or I guess good afternoon, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and call to order the regional collaborative meeting of Harrison, Nicholas, Bourbon, and Scott. It's February 6th. After a long period of not meeting, and I apologize for that on my end. Um, I'm trying to get better at it, and so this is meeting today is kind of to catch up on things that have happened and maybe plan moving forward. Um, so, would anybody like to take a vote and make a motion to get things started for the financial review?
Are you doing okay?
I'll make a motion to get started on the financial review.
Thank you, Whitney.
Yes.
There's a second.
Yes. So that's what we're gonna be changing.
Thank you. Was that Olivia? Okay. Hi, Olivia. All right. So I wanted to quickly go with the financial review, give you all an idea of what we got going for us, and then we can work our way into future meetings and introductions and stuff. Since I know there's a few new faces on here. In the past couple of months, there hasn't been any major financial transactions. There's been a few here and there, just the normal supplies for different classrooms and requests and maintenance upkeeps and things like that, but nothing substantial. And so without looking directly at the budget report in front of me, roundabout for this fiscal year, we have about $100,000 left in our budget, which is a very good amount. There's in our budget officially that got approved, we have right around 28,000 set aside for supplies, materials, equipment, things to improve classrooms if things are falling apart, improve stars and things like that. So we have a substantial amount of money for that. Purchase of services, we have 65,000, and that includes like training and technical assistance and going to the ECI, things like that. So we have money set aside for those things. Other is 6,800, and those are typically just one-off things that are not super common, but we need money for. And then the administrative budget, we have about 5,000, which is admin stuff. So, but all that added together, it's about $100,000, and we have until June, the end of June, to spend all that, and then we get our second round of payments since this is a 2-year grant. So we have a good amount of money to be spending. So that's something that we can always spend some time on talking about. I wanted to mention the quarterly report. I don't have that for us today, just mainly because there's not much new information to put on it that would require a whole lot of discussion. But I'll send that out for everybody to look at and let me know if they want changes. And if not, I don't hear anything back from y'all by the end of this week. I'll take that as approval and I'll send it on through. But the quarterly reports haven't drastically changed. And so I didn't feel like we wanted to spend a whole lot of time talking about it. So that is the financial review. Moving on to the new business type stuff, I wanted to give a chance. So it has been a minute for everybody to hop on. I wanted to take a second just for us to introduce ourselves, say our names, who you're affiliated with, and then that way we know who we're talking to. So I'll start, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us. So we'll go from that way. So my name's Jonas Cooper. I work within the Head Start program at Community Action Council. And so then I'll turn it over to y'all to say your names and where you're from.
I'll start us off, but then I'll pick the person next to me if that's okay. The person I see next, then we can keep the popcorn going. I'm Kate Dean. I'm Regional Child Care Administrator for the Northern Bluegrass region of Child Care Aware of Kentucky. So I focus on basically Scott County up to Cincinnati. All of the counties in this Early Childhood Regional Collaborative are in my team's coverage area. Whitney, I see you next.
I'm Whitney Fowler. I'm the preschool director for Harrison County Schools. Rachel.
I'm Rachel Edwards, Site Director for Harrison County Community Action Council.
I'm Carrie Rashley, and I'm with Kate. I'm a quality coach with Child Care Aware.
I'm Olivia Thompson with EC Learn out of Northern Kentucky, and I work with family child care providers in the 4 counties of Harrison, Nicholas, Bourbon, and Scott.
It looks like Danita and Leslie don't have a mic, so they introduced themselves in the chat.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. I was trying to unmute myself so I could read it. Danita is the Family Resource Director at Bourbon Central Elementary and the Child Care Director at Derby Club. And then Leslie is also Family Resource Center Director in Bourbon County and with the Cougar Club. So appreciate everybody hopping on. I just want to make sure, since it has been a minute, for us all to kind of know who we're talking to. I wanted to move on to new business real quick. If you're looking at the agenda, I just want to make some notes. As always, I always try to make a point to include a conversation about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. I've been getting a lot of questions and comments about it, especially since Fayette County is now enrolled in it. So I met with Bourbon County, and they are starting theirs off and getting it re-going again. And so I let them know that in our budget, we have approved a minimum of $5,000 to go toward each county. So that's $5,000 for Bourbon, for Harrison, for Nicholas, and for Scott, for their respective imagination libraries. We can always give more than that, but then of course that would require a vote on it in one of our meetings. But we had last year in our budget proposal, we went ahead and we approved $5,000 for each county. And so the way that works, for those of you who are involved in your county's imagination libraries and want the $5,000 from us, the way that it works is you send us an invoice, and it can be for the full $5,000. It could be, however y'all need it. But we would need the invoice, so that way I can use the invoice as a backup to send the money your way. And then we would appreciate, a shout out in the book or the email newsletter that you send out, for ever how you see fit, because we know that we're not in it for the popularity, but we just want to make sure that the kids get the books as much as possible. So $5,000 for everybody, and we can always approve more if needed be, and we can always bring that up in future meetings.
Jonas, did we invoice that to the Harrison, Bourbon, Nicholas, Scott County CECC?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. You can invoice it to them, to the CECC, and then, but it'll come to me, and then I'll use that as the backup. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jonas, who's the contact for that here in Scott County?
The Imagination Library.
Right. Who's the person who you're expecting to receive that invoice from?
I haven't heard from anybody. There was at one point a couple months ago, we had a big, informational gathering, and it went really well. And there's a lot of interest in it. And there were 2 or 3 entities that were going to take votes on it to be the partners. But I'd never heard anything back. And when I've reached out, I haven't heard anything still.
Okay. Would you mind? I mean, we don't have to take up the meeting for this, but one of the reasons that I'm here today is because I've noticed that our Scott County participation has decreased. Mm-hmm. And so I want to make sure we have Scott County representation. That's where both Carrie and I live. So it's kind of from the personal and also the professional side, because we can help hopefully get you in where it needs to be. And I'd like to look at maybe even having, like a subgroup get back together again, because that's what we had done back in the day before we combined the counties for the collaborative. So I'm just kind of brainstorming ideas right now, and it would be great if I can just find out who's shown that interest in the past and see if I might be able to help get that going again.
Kate, the last time I talked to Jennifer Walrod, she's the preschool director and principal at the Early Learning Village there. She had asked, she wanted to talk to me and ask questions about how we had gotten our set up. So I assumed that she was going to be the contact person for Scott County.
Can you give me her last name again?
Jennifer Walrod, Walrod.
Okay, and you said at the public preschool is who
She's
that?
at the Scott County Preschool. Early
Right, which is
Learning
our
Center.
public preschool in town, is that right? Okay, all right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and Kate, Carrie, I'll send y'all the couple other Scott County contacts that at one point reached out to me. I'll send them your way as well. And on a side note to that, I know a few of y'all have been in this game a lot longer than I have. But if y'all want to have subcommittees within your individual counties, that's more than allowed. It's just the money would flow from this central entity as the Harrison Nicholas Bourbon Scott Regional Collaborative. But if y'all want your individual subcommittees, that is more than allowed. And then you can always bring that information here or have, you and your members of that subcommittee come to this one as well. Just want to put that out there because I know some other collaboratives are doing that pretty effectively.
Thank you for bringing that up, Jonas, because I wasn't quite sure how we were allowed to do that, or what the rules were. So
yeah, we just haven't talked about it because we've never had a super big turnout on this particular collaborative after the merging. And so I just never thought to cross that bridge because I didn't know if there was enough interest. But that's allowed if people are wanting to do that. ECI is in April. It is April 19th through the 20th, and it's here in Lexington at the Griffin Gate Marriott. I know the governor's office had set aside some block rooms at the Marriott, and then they're saying that the Clarion next door also has some cheaper rooms available as well. But in our budget, again, like I said, we had set money aside to send people through with the registration and their hotel accommodations for us to reimburse that. I don't know if people would necessarily want a hotel accommodation since it's in Lexington, but I mean, I know some of y'all would drive, an hour, if not more. So if you're wanting that and you're interested in attending, we have money set aside. And the way that we did this last year was I got a list of everybody who was wanting to go. And Whitney remembers how this went. It got a little messy because our fiscal department at the time, we had not done this. So when I'd submit the invoices and stuff like that, they weren't entirely sure what to do. But I think we worked the kinks out. But I would take the list of people who are going to go, and I would take it to them. We'd pay for the registration, and then we would also pay for the hotel. But in order for that to work, I would need to know in advance who's going and who needs what. Because most of the time when you register for ECI, you can go ahead and put your name on the list because it does fill up quick. But you can click pay with a PO. That way you're not having to pay any of your own money out. And then when I get all the names, I can reach out and pay for everybody at one time. So that is an option if you are wanting to do that.
So there won't be another one over the summer like there was last year in July.
I'm not sure. I had heard talks that they were going to try to move to multiple ones a year. But I haven't heard anybody confirm yet, though, Whitney. Mm-mm. So, but we have the money aside if people want to go to the one in April, and if there is one in July, then we have the funds to be able to do that as well. So when I send out the email, I'll let y'all know the date that I need names by in order to pay for you. But that is coming up in April, ECI. Some of the TNTA notes, we have conscious discipline that was also in our plan. So if you want some of the e-courses or textbooks or other materials for your staff or teachers or to give to the community, just let me know and we can make sure we get you some. As a reminder, if you send me a request for money or for materials or something like that, in the subject line, put CECC spending or regional collaborative spending. That way I know when I'm trying to get my life together, I can organize it appropriately and make sure I get it in the right spot. But conscious discipline stuff is in our budget. I can get you just about anything you need as far as that goes. Olivia could enlighten us on this next point if she feels necessary. But last year, what we did, if y'all remember, we partnered with EC Learn, and we paid for some vouchers for trainings. I believe it was ASQ and maybe another couple of screening trainings. But that's another option this year. We can, if you see a great need in your areas and you want to say, hey, here's a voucher for a free training. We can do that. We can pay for a voucher and then you can give it to them. And it'll be through EC Learn, who is very great at what they do. And so we have a lot of money set aside for that as well. So if there's a need for it, let us know. We can take a vote on it and make that happen. Olivia, did you have anything you wanted to add from your end?
Yeah, I just touched base this morning with Andrea that used to attend this regional collaborative, and we discussed, and we are definitely wanting to do that again this year and help support that. So EC Learn is on board to participate again and help with that.
Thank you. Before we move to the next point, just so we can go ahead and maybe start thinking about it, are there any areas that y'all are seeing that you might feel like would be helpful to have some free trainings to be able to give to people, some topics?
Could I give a question before we start brainstorming on trends? So what marketing process are you expecting with the conscious discipline and the ASQ Bergantz? Because we do have access to the email listing to share with all providers. If we had enough money out there that you wanted us to say, okay, all the providers in, Bourbon, Harrison, Nicholas, Scott, this is an offering through the Early Childhood Collaborative. Would you, the first X number that sign up are in? Is that something that you'd like to see happen? Because I know, like, the spend down, you really need to spend it by the end of June. So if you have a flyer, or if somebody is more savvy than I could create a flyer, our team would be happy to get that in the hands of childcare providers and teachers.
No, Kate, that's a fantastic idea and offer. Thank you. And as far as the topic goes, conscious discipline, that would be really great. So I can reach out to Olivia and whoever else needs to from EC Learn and kind of get a quote for what that would look like. Just out of curiosity, do y'all kind of know what a good number would be to get a right? I don't either. That was kind of
hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because I don't know how much the conscious discipline costs. And that would be the part that if it's going through EC Learn, I bet you guys Andrea probably has that in a package somewhere. But then we could send it out and say the first number who get us, say, I'm sorry, I'm pointing to you like we're in the same room. But Jonas, if you were like, okay, we can spend 20,000 on this because we have 65, then Olivia comes back and says, well, $20,000 will get you 100 slots, or will get, I'm just making this up. But if you go that route, then we could send it out to everybody and say, here's the deadline, and the first X number who sign up for this will gain access to it. And then it would be EC Learn that would do the invoice. So you wouldn't be getting it from like a whole lot of people. And as far as conscious discipline is concerned, I've seen across the region, when people have access to that, it really changes practice. And it's language that like our coaches have been trained on. I know EC Learn's coaches have been trained on. And even if they went to, say, Grant County because they were interested in seeing what Grant County does, conscious discipline has been taken there too. So I do see that as like a way to kind of, create foundational language and practice across all four. So I think that would be a plus. And then the same kind of thing could happen with the ASQ or the Bergantz, if that was something that you wanted to look at another package for. And we could just send that out and say, you know, X numbers available to the first X number of people.
Right. Okay. I'm on the same page as you now, Kate. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
I was doing a lot of talking, but
No, it makes sense. I'm on the same page now. And I do think that's probably the most effective way to go about it. And so let me ask y'all this now. Let me put this question out there. Do y'all want to take a vote on a number now, or would you like for me in our follow-up email that I'll send out to break down the numbers and let y'all know exactly what we have for what amounts and subcategories? Or do y'all want to go ahead and take a vote now? Is there any thoughts on that? Okay, well then, in the follow-up email, I'll look at the numbers, and I'll propose a number. And then just like the quarterly reports, if I don't hear anything, I will take that as approval. Unless, somebody does come back with an objection, then we'll wait till the next month, to take an official vote on it if we need to go that way. Okay, so thank you, Kate. That's a good idea. That's what we'll do then. And then yes, Danita, you make a good point about putting it in TRIS. I was already thinking about that. We'll make sure to include that as well.
are those both by credentialed trainers, Olivia? Because I think Andrea handles that too. Usually.
Repeat that, Kate. I'm sorry.
Has Andrea already put those in TRIS? Because I think they're by credentialed trainers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I do know that Andrea and I are attending the conscious discipline training that's coming up here in March. So it's definitely on our radar.
Yeah, and because I don't know if y'all are seeing Danita's chat. We did this last year a different type of way with conscious discipline, and we didn't get it through TRIS. And so the teachers spent the time going through it, but then they didn't get any credit for it. So it was helpful, but it wasn't as helpful as it could have been. So that's why Danita's making a point about it, and I'm glad she is. So yes, we'll make sure to work that out too as well. Okay, so now that we covered that part, let's move to, I want to give you an update on the website. They've been working on it, and it looks much better than what it did. If I remember the last time we met about this a few months ago, y'all gave me a list of suggestions for it, and I forwarded that on to the company that's been editing our website, and they took a look at it, and to my knowledge, all except for maybe one or two things, they fixed it all. So it looks really, really good. And I will put the email, or excuse me, the website address in my follow-up email. But it's earlychildhoodky.com. And that's our official website for this regional collaborative. And so it's still in its developing stages. You know, we can always add to it. You know, the goal is to eventually at one point get a functioning calendar on it for community events and things like that. But right now it has like a list of childcare providers, the importance of early childhood, some of our partners, things like that as well. So we can always continue to improve it. But at the current state it's in, it's much better than what it was. And we should be proud of it at this point. So as y'all go on to it and look around, or if you share it and hear feedback, shoot me an email, let me know what you feel like needs to be changed or edited, and we can always include it in as well. And then the last point on here, I already mentioned, if you're making a request for funding or materials or anything like that, in the subject line, make sure you put CECC spending or regional collaborative spending. That way I know how to prioritize it. So at this point, I wanted to open the floor for discussions, announcements, anything like that. Does anybody have anything that they want to bring forward to the whole group?
I put this in chat. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm talking so much. I'm very excited about this council and I haven't been able to be here in a really long time. So it's so good to see everybody. It's so sorry. But if you have trainings that need to be approved for credit hours, please don't hesitate to ask to reach out to us, and we can give you some manpower to help figure out how to get everything in the system correctly. We do have a training coach that does that just as a natural part of their job. So it's fully free, and we're happy to do that for you guys.
Thank you, Kate. Anybody else got things they want to bring up?
Just because this is the first time I've been on this, so I have a question. As far as the conscious discipline, the books and the training that you mentioned that there's funding, is that something that we should be sharing with providers? That's available and for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, you can. If you're out and about and you want to make that mention, absolutely. This
Okay.
money is here for the childcare providers and the families and these four counties. So anything that they need, we're able to put forth. And the good thing about this current grant that we're in, it's not only a 2-year grant, but they removed a lot of the restrictions that was on the last grant. So we have a little bit more flexibility as far as what we can buy and spend and how we do it. So it's much easier to do helpful things for people. But yeah, feel free to shoot those to me. At this point, we don't have a co-chair. So if anybody wants to throw their hat in the ring for it, we can always take a vote on it. But right now, y'all can send emails to me and things like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Did you say that you might be able to get a flyer together for that? Because I think then Carrie, we could send it out and also have a paper copy that goes with us for anybody who might like to.
Yes, I'll work on getting a flyer. I have a practicum student working with me, so I know what they're going to be doing. So we'll get them on working on that.
Great. And if you need help to make sure it's approved interest before that flyer goes out, we can help you. I know I've already said that, but I'm just saying that way then you could put on the flyer that it'll be approved for those.
Be approved, right? Yeah. Right. Thank you. All right. Anybody else?
How many hours is that training, in case people ask?
Off the top of my head, I do not know yet. So before we adjourn and close, I feel like now would be an appropriate time for us to kind of talk about if the original meeting time of the first Friday of every month at 9:30 works for people, or do we want to change it to this time, or is there another time? What seems to be the best for y'all? I got a lot of feedback saying that this time was more helpful for people. So we can always keep it during this time if we want. But if there's other opinions and thoughts on it, I want to go ahead and make sure I give the chance for people to speak their voice on it.
Jonas, this time works for me just because on Fridays where we don't have students in our buildings for preschool, we do spend a lot of those Fridays doing ARC meetings. And so I'm out and about a lot of the time, especially on Friday morning. So this time usually works best. Any day,
okay. And my thought behind the 12:30 time was, I know most people take their lunch sometime between 12 and 1. So whether you're coming back from lunch or you want to eat lunch during the meeting, I thought maybe that might be the most free time many of us have. Danita said she was good with Friday, but this time should work too. So I'm gonna make a motion to make meetings this time now. So I'll make that motion. If anybody wants to second that motion, we'll take a vote, and we'll go ahead and make that official. So I'm gonna make a motion to change this regional collaborative time to meeting the first Monday of every month from 12:30 to 1. So I will need a second and then we'll take a vote on it. All right, Danita seconds. So then all in favor, you can say aye or put yes in the chat. So aye. Okay, I see lots of hands going up and down. So we're going to say the ayes have it. All right, so I'll make sure to include that as well, that this is now the new official meeting time. And I will work on getting calendar invite out for everybody as well. Okay. So would someone like to make a motion to adjourn, and then someone can second that, and then we'll call it?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
All right, thanks, Kate. Anybody second?
A
All right,
second.
Danita seconds and Olivia thirds. So, all right, everybody, I'll send the email out, and then just so y'all know, as always, since it's recording, I'll upload this to the YouTube channel and the link to that as well, in case anybody needs to review it or you want to send it to somebody to watch. Other than that, appreciate y'all. Reach out to me if I have any questions. Thanks.
Thanks, Jonas. I copied you on an email to Sharon Norris. She's the training coach, so you guys can connect. All right.
Perfect. Thank you,
Have a
Kate.
great day. Bye.